We defend your power rankings. Monday Night Football, Packers stumbled, but with the Packers stumbling, the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, move into your top 5 as a result. Is it a result of just, I'm fine with this. I think you can make the case that what happened to the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football with how the Lions just dominated. Like the Lions had, if you look at their season in totality, the Lions go to Kansas City and win that game. They lose in overtime
without Chris Jones, so you got to put a little
for sure. But that's fine. It's still Mahomes and the Chiefs and Andy Reid on the opener. They lose at home to Seattle in week 2 in overtime, and what was a crazy game. And we're like, all right, maybe we're a little concerned. But then they dominate the Falcons. They dominate the Packers on the road, and they absolutely bludgeon the Panthers. I know none of those teams, like the Panthers and the Falcons, none of those teams might not be great, but the Lions have looked. I think you put them in a different uniform, and you're talking about them. People are giving them more credit as a Super Bowl contender.
By the way, I didn't know that the Lions fans were so passionate. I mean, they haven't been around for 45 years. So,
well, their defense.
My gosh, they come hard too, and so now you're in your top 5, Lions fans. Leave me alone. I mean, because I never knew, seriously, I thought, since Bobby Lane went away, they haven't had any Lions fans. It's a great story. He's done a great job. I think Ben Johnson's a fantastic offensive coordinator. I've always been more bullish on Jared Goff than others. I like him as a guy, but I also think he's a good quarterback who can operate in this system. And I think defensively, they've made big strides. That's where they made the biggest improvement. They were a joke on defense last year. And they've done a great job on that side of the ball. They're fun to watch. Big game this week, by the way. Big game this week with the Creamsicles down in Tampa. That's going to be fun. I look forward to that one.
I also look forward to that one. Wilson, do you have any questions for Pete about the Lions? Nope. Cool. I was just curious if you had any questions about the Lions. That's all.
Pete, what do you think about Jared Goff? Where do you rank him among the quarterbacks in the NFC? Because I think he's probably 2.
You have Hurts 1?
No, Brock. I think I have Brock 1 right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, right now, Brock would be 1. Yeah, he'd probably be right. Stafford's still playing good football. I mean,
the top four are Brock, Hurts, Goff, and Stafford.
Yeah, that's pretty clear cut, I think. I mean, Cousins is
Cousins
still
actually playing
numbers.
some of his best football.
Cousins are probably the 5th, yeah. Or that would be the top 5 in the NFC.
Yeah, I would. I mean, in what order you want to put him? But Purdy's playing the best.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any question about that.
Geno Smith not playing terrible.
Would you? Okay, this is the question you got to ask. If you put Jared Goff in the 49ers offense, would he be playing every bit as good as Brock Purdy?
I think Brock Purdy is playing out of his mind, so maybe not, but I think he would be executing that offense at a high level. And the other thing I take away from Jared Goff is that's an example of a guy who came in and struggled, because a lot of times quarterbacks struggle, and maybe he sort of figured it out. And no one on planet Earth, especially me, thought once he got traded from Sean McVay to the Lions, he would be this guy. But credit to him, because that dude's been balling out ever since he got to Detroit.
I don't know if the Lions thought he would be this guy.
Maybe not. Maybe
no,
not.
I don't think they did. I thought he was stopgap and they'd go get a quarterback. And
well, I mean, Brad Holmes was in Los Angeles when they drafted him, and you got to. I mean, I think too, like if they have a great offensive line, like top 5 offensive line in the NFL, they play indoors. And like they have a really smart.
They don't have a deep threat. Now Jameson Williams comes back and he's back, and is he going to become that guy? But for the first month of the season, they didn't scare anybody down the field.
True.
And now if Williams comes back and opens up that part of their game,
and your guy Sam Laporta, you called him.
Sam Laporta is awesome.
Yeah, you know what, Ryan? Rick sits here on Sundays and acts like he thought Sam Laporta was going to be George Kittle. You got to back him off of that, because I was the Laporta guy, remember? And he was
Antoine
not.
Green. And Antoine Green.
Yeah, Antoine Green too. But
that's right.
Isn't it like area? I mean, like if you don't rank Iowa tight ends high, what are you doing? Like,
not just that.
These guys are just all good.
Iowa tight ends, though, Will, because he ran like a wide receiver. It was different. Kittle's he's a pure tight end. He can run for a tight end, but that
Laporta's more like a Fant than a Kittle /
but a good Fant.
Yeah.